What's going on YouTube? Craig here from All Tech Together coming at you with another product review. And today, we're going to look at this, the Soundblaster G6 from none other than Creative. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I will let you know out there that this was sent to me by Creative, but under no circumstances, just like every other video, this will not color my review. I much prefer to have integrity and honesty than stuff sent to me. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So this here is the Creative Soundblaster G6. And what this is an external sound card and DAC for your PC. Now, on the box, they come out with a whole bunch of different sort of little sayings like the BCN Award of 2018, some stuff in Chinese or Japanese that I don't know how to read, I'm sorry. And then it says, works with Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. And then it says something up here, and it says, works with PS4 USB audio. And that is what this review is actually going to be about. But more on that in a little bit. And then down below it says discrete X amp, 130 decibel DAC, high-res 32-bit audio, Dolby audio, and then virtual 5.1 and 7.1. So this has a lot of different stuff on it. And if you've watched my videos in the past, I find a lot of this stuff sometimes is a lot of marketing jargon and just stuff they put on these packages just to make it seem super interesting and super high end. But sometimes, and we'll talk about this more in a little bit, this can either be good or bad. It depends. And I think I've said it before with other headphones, when they're Discord certified. And that really means nothing other than it works with Discord, but every headset with a microphone works with Discord, so it doesn't really add much to it. Now, one thing I will bring up, this does have what's called a discrete amp, so both the right and left channels of this are amplified independently of each other. So most DACs have 1 amp, and so it just amplifies everything, where this one has 2 amps, so it'll amplify either the right side or the left side depending on which side the audio is coming from in your game. And so like I said a few minutes ago, I want to really talk about this with the PS4 audio, because if you use this for your computer, you get all the typical computer sort of affair. You get the equalizer settings, you get the surround sound, you get the software that comes with this. But when I use this just for the PS4, it is just as is. There's nothing else. There's no equalizer settings. There's nothing else. And that is both a good thing and a bad thing in certain situations. So let's talk about this. So here I have the DAC itself. It's very small, maybe 3.5 inches wide, maybe a couple inches, long, a couple inches wide. Plastic build. It's all plastic. It looks like it's aluminum, but it's all plastic. On the bottom, it's got this really nice rubber sort of matting, so it will stick to a desk or any sort of coffee table that you're going to be sitting this on. So that's really good. It's not sliding around. You can use the middle knob here as your volume up and down. So a neat thing about this is when you turn it up, the light actually gets brighter in behind, the backlight, and when you go down, it gets dimmer. So it gives you sort of a visual cue of the audio, and that actually is really nice for the PlayStation 4, so you can kind of tell just at a glance, is it high or low, or things like that. And then if you push this in as a button, click, it'll actually, if you hold it, it'll turn red, and it'll mute the microphone of your headset. So that's super nice. Also in the front, you have a headset connection, a 3.5mm headset connection, and then you have just a simple microphone connection. And that's all that we have on the front, just dial and 2 connections. Then on the side, we have the Scout mode. And what the Scout mode little button does is it ups the treble. It allows footsteps to be heard a little bit better. I'm going to skip this SBX button for a second. I'll come back to that in just a second. And then I have my gain either low or high. And that depends on your headset or your headphones. Are they high impedance, so a lot of resistance, or are they low impedance, so really easy to drive? And so you can click that up or down depending on your setup. Now, back to the SBX button. That enables the virtual surround sound. Okay, so that is how that, you just click that, surround sound is on, click it again, that virtual surround sound is off. Now, on the back, we have the line in, optical in, and then we also have the line and optical out. So if you want to hook up some speakers, things like that, or you want to have a 3.5 millimeter jack coming into this from, let's say, your Xbox or your Switch or something like that, you can use that as well. But when we're talking about just the PlayStation 4, and I guess the PC for that matter, all you require is the micro USB to USB-A cable. You plug this in to your PlayStation 4, and it is ready to rock. It is that simple. There's no setup, there's no drivers. It is literally just plug and play in your PlayStation. Now, if you're somebody that plays your PlayStation quite a bit, like me, the controller audio is not the greatest. Now, if you have external speakers, like a surround sound setup, this isn't for you. But if you want to play with a headset, maybe your wife or kids are sleeping, or your husband's sleeping, or the neighbor's upstairs, or whatever, in your personal life, you want to have headphones on. The audio coming from your PlayStation is not the greatest from your controller. This is where this thing shines. And I have to be completely honest with you. When they sent me this, I wasn't really holding out, because you can have other audio setups for your PlayStation. Even one I've done on this channel was the SteelSeries Arctis Pro and Game DAC. And that Game DAC hooks up to your PlayStation as well, but it needs a USB and the optical. Then there's a little bit of finagling in the setups. This here just needs the USB, which is awesome. When I plugged this in, I don't know how to say this without seeming super odd, we'll say. It's freaking amazing. This little box takes your PlayStation sound from this to off the charts. I sound like I'm exaggerating, but this is honestly, as far as I'm concerned, a game changer for your PlayStation. I spent the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3.5, or 2.5, 3 weeks or so using this, and I've played Red Dead Redemption 2. I've played Spider-Man. I've played, what else? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And in all those 3 games, they're open world, they're big, they're expansive, there's a lot of ambient noise. And all I can say again is this changes your game drastically. It's almost like if you remember the old CRT TVs, and then you got that high definition 1080p TV, and you're like, boom, whoa, what's going on? You plug this in, it has that same effect. Red Dead Redemption, I was hearing streams over to the side. I was hearing crickets at night. My horse, as I was running, I could hear it like grunting, like under effort. I could hear every little detail, and it was as if I was in the Wild West. And the same thing happened when I was playing Assassin's Creed and Spider-Man. I felt like I was in New York City. And the feeling, the immersion, the encompassing sound that this little box delivers is incredible for what you have. Now, some people might say, yeah, but Craig, you don't have any equalizer settings. You can't do anything like that. You don't need to, really, with this. I'm not an audiophile, quote-unquote audiophile. I like things that sound nice, but I've never classified myself as an audiophile. This thing I don't need to mess with. The basses were there. The treble was there. The mids were there. It was all defined and present and separated and just magical, I guess. And again, I sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not until you hear this. It's simple. It's elegant. It's phenomenally sounding. I cannot recommend this enough. Now, the only downside to this is the fact that it is wired. You do need a micro USB to USB-A, and they send one with you. Creative does, which is nice. it's pretty short. It's maybe only a couple feet, maybe 3 feet tops. So if you are somebody who sits further away from your PlayStation, this might not be for you. Or you jump on Amazon, you purchase a 10-foot cable, and you can put this wherever you want. Now, that might be a problem for you if you have kids or pets or something like that. That might be. So I can see why this might not be for everybody. Just because it has the wired. And in today's world, I mean, wireless is so convenient. But I haven't heard any wireless headphones that hook to my PS4. And I've tried a few Logitech. I've tried a Razer. I've heard nothing that comes even close to this little bad boy right here. This thing, again, is a game changer. Other than the wired, there's no downfalls to this at all. Again, and I said this on my last one, I give this like 100% endorsement. If this was a purchase of mine, if I went out and I paid I think it's $160 or $150 Canadian, and I brought this home and I got the sound out of this that I got when I got this, I wouldn't feel like I wasted a cent. Every penny that you would pay for this little fella right here is worth it in my eyes. I spent weeks and weeks with this, trying to find downfalls, trying to find problems, trying to find disadvantages. And other than the wired, oh, you know what? I just thought of one more. The only other little thing is, sometimes this doesn't turn off when I put my PlayStation to sleep. I'll put it into sleep mode and this thing will stay on. And I don't know why. So I just unplug it and it fixes itself, no problem. But again, that and the wired are so small compared to the sound that it delivers that I can't help but give it an 11 out of 10. It's phenomenal. This is something that, if you are somebody that enjoys, I'm rambling now, you see how I ramble when I get excited? If you are somebody that enjoys high quality audio, something that is just so immersive and just encompassing that you can just be in that world, this G6 is for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, again, feel free down in the comments to ask them. I always try to get back to all my subscribers and just anybody who watches my videos, because I feel like in the YouTube climate, you ask a question to a YouTuber and they just ignore you because they're either too big or just don't have the time or just don't care. I really want to be different. I want to help. In my personal life, I like to help people, and now in this sort of a life, I like to help people. So if you have any questions, I don't care how silly you think it is, ask the question. If I know, I'll tell you. If I don't, hey, we can go on that journey of knowledge together. So with that out of the way, I also want to just announce too, and I did it on my last video, that when this channel hits 300 subscribers, I'm going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card. And that gift card will always be in your local currency. So if you are from, England or United Kingdom or Europe or anything like that, it'll be in pounds or euros. And then if you're from the States, it'll be in US dollars. If you're from Canada, Canadian dollars. I think the last gentleman I gave one to was from Sweden. If you're watching this, what up, Willie? Just however I can get you that $50 in your currency, I will figure a way out. And so hit that subscribe button, ask those questions. I love the interaction, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.